How are we doing, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's going to be tomorrow. Premier League's going to start again. Arsenal versus Fulham at the Emirates Stadium. And listen, I'm not really looking forward to this game. Last few times that we've played Fulham, we've struggled, and I don't think we've got a result for a while. But of course, I'm happy to see the Premier League start again. Definitely something to do. But still, I'm a little concerned with our recent performances against Fulham and the recent results that we're getting. But regardless, it's happening. Arsenal versus Fulham. And I'll get into that in a moment. But first of all, I have to say, Andre Berta, officially Arsenal's new sporting director. And I am looking forward to this, can't lie. Andre Berta. He has a history of bringing in some of the best quality from all around the world. Um, in day one of us, we're already getting rumours about Victor Gyökeres. Obviously, Victor Gyökeres, he's been an interesting target for Arsenal for some time now. Maybe we'll see this go through, maybe not. Now, they say that Victor Gyökeres is about roughly 60 million in pounds. And Isak, at the very least, will cost at least 120 million. So I think Gyökeres would be a bit more of a realistic target for us. And look, you can argue that Victor Gyökeres, even though he's banging in goals left, right, back, and centre, you can argue that he hasn't really played consistently in the Premier League, which is true, and that's why he's also a risk. Every decision that we make from here on out is a risk. The least risky thing we can do is buy Alexander Isak for an insane price that absolutely no one's going to be willing to pay anyways. And even then, Alexander Isak has been known to be a bit injury prone. So even then, we're still looking at a risk. So whatever we do, whoever we get, it's going to be a risk. But Victor Gyökeres, I can't lie, I'm very much liking the looks of him. And the fact that he will only cost like roughly 60 million, we can put that money that we're going to save, if we were to buy Isak, we can put that money that we're saving and look for a left winger as well, because that is another position we've been crying out for. But look, Andre Berta doesn't mess around. And we've seen it before, and he's definitely not a yes man, which is one thing that I was worried about Arsenal getting, was a yes man. I was worried about Arteta being a bit too in control, having absolutely no one challenge his authority. But Andre Berta is not that guy. He will challenge authority if he thinks that the course of action taken isn't the best. And so I'm happy to see it, but it's got to be next season talk. And for now, we're going to have to talk about Arsenal versus Fulham. As I said, it won't be an easy game. We've struggled a lot against them. But hopefully, just hopefully, we can get a result, get a win against them to get this mentality out of us. Because teams like Fulham, West Ham, Aston Villa, Everton, they're the teams we're dropping points against. And if we want to escalate ourselves to Premier League winners, we need to stop dropping these points. But anyways, I'm going to go into now the starting 11 that I would pick, keeping in mind that Calafiori's been injured. I don't hear that it's too bad, a few weeks out, hopefully. But regardless, we're going to start off in goal, David Raya. There's no reason why he wouldn't start. Our centre back pairing, the two that we absolutely adore, Gabriel. Let me try that again. Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba in the right back position, and it's really a toss-up kinda between Ben White and Timber. I would personally play Ben White. I think Ben White's a bit more attacking, if I'm honest. I think Ben White will go forward a bit more, and Timber's just better off defensively. And I think we'll need a strong attack for this, especially after what we saw in the Crystal Palace versus Fulham game. If Crystal Palace can put 3 against them, we should have no excuses. Left back, it's going to have to be Lewis Skelly. I can't lie, I appreciate Lewis Skelly very much. I'm eager to see him back in the action, especially after his England debut. Very, very happy for him, silencing all those bigots, all those haters who hate on him just because he plays in an Arsenal shirt. Because if he played for Man City, if he played for United, if he played for Liverpool, no one would say a thing. But moving on to our midfield, I'm going to start Odegaard. I think Odegaard still needs to step up a little bit. Obviously, he got a triple hat trick during the international. Sorry, triple hat trick. He got a triple assist. Sorry, in the international break, and so that gives me a bit of hope. It gives me a bit of confidence. And now we'll have to see if he can do that whilst in an Arsenal shirt. And now would be a good time to do it, definitely, after international break. I'm also going to look at Declan Rice, of course. I think Declan Rice, he makes those runs, he makes the passes, he's always looking to go forward. And I can't wait to see him next season with Zubimendi, assuming that is complete, that go through. I'm hearing good things about it. And now that we're talking about it again, it gives me a bit of confidence. But Declan Rice, I love the way he goes forward. I love the fact that he is attack-minded more than so defensively. And I think he will always be an integral part of this Arsenal team. Thomas Partey as well. I think as of recently, I think there's been a few moments of him being a bit sloppy. Letting the ball away a bit easy, making the wrong pass, putting us in a bit of trouble. But that will never take away from the fact that he's still a brilliant player. Players can make mistakes and they can have bad forms. I'm not going to hold it too much against him. I will criticise him where it's due, but I'm still going to say right now he's an integral part of Arsenal's plan. And until he leaves, which is sounding like it will be next season, but until he leaves, he will remain that part. In our attack, very limited kind of options here. But I'm going to say, and please, for the love of God, I'm begging Arteta to not take off Ethan Nwaneri. Ethan Nwaneri's proved himself far too useful. So I've obviously got to start with right wing Ethan Nwaneri. I'm hearing rumours, of course, about Saka being ready on the bench. And that is probably the best news I've heard all season. So I'd say Ethan Nwaneri on the right wing, definitely. And obviously he'd have to come off for Bukayo Saka, because we need Bukayo Saka there. We need to get Bukayo Saka a few minutes. Shake off all the dust. But look, we don't want to introduce Saka too much or too early. If we do that, we risk injuring him all over again, and that is the last thing we need, is to lose him for the rest of the season again. Moving on to left wing, I would put Martinelli. I think Martinelli, for all his faults, he runs the length here. He'll run up and down the pitch. He's proven that he works hard. Yes, his taking on defenders and his crossing and his shooting definitely need work. And with this game, hopefully it can improve. But Martinelli, he needs to step up his game in the final third. But other than that, I think he's a nice little player who'll run up and down the pitch for you. And of course, we have to go with Mikel Mourinho as our striker. And I know he's not really striker, but again, we don't have a striker. We don't even have an unofficial striker anymore, really. But look, again, you can partially look at ourselves and say it's our own fault. We should have sorted this out when we got rid of Nketiah, which, don't get me wrong, 30 million for Eddie Nketiah is an absolute bargain for us. But at the same time, you need to be ready to replace the players that leave the club. We need to be progressing. But regardless, that is the team that I would put out, definitely. I'm looking forward to, if the rumours are true and he's going to be on the bench, I'm looking forward to seeing Bukayo Saka come back and playing for us again. I know the crowd's going to go absolutely mental when he does. But that's all for now. Like, share, and comment. Really helps out the channel, and please do subscribe. I will be seeing you in the match review. Thank you and goodbye.